All right, so we're back with Mikala McLean, which is one of the coolest names ever.
Thank
What
you.
does McLean bring to those of you listening or watching? What does that name bring to mind?
A famous
It,
movie.
it should be Die Hard.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen Die Hard, like I've got my wife like watching Top Gun, all the old movies because she's never seen it. Conan the Barbarian, so she may not have seen, but maybe she has. Anyway, back with Michaela, and loved our first conversation. I mean, just that conversation in and of itself, like I took so much away from it, and a lot of it confirmed some things that I felt like I maybe knew to be true, but didn't really have a way to verbalize it. So, and loved the polyvagal theory, right? I've been
Yeah.
calling it therapy. Okay, theory.
Theory.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Um, so, do you mind if we just talk about maybe what are some things that we can do, the people listening, watching, to improve their life, have a better life, based on your different life experiences? Is there anything that advice wise, that you would give to someone who has body dysmorphia or sees himself negatively or
Yeah.
something like
Um,
that?
I mean, there's of course, like the foundation that we talk about, like you talked with your audience, and it's, eating right, getting sleep, um, the mindfulness piece. So there's that just basic foundation of just living in this human meat suit, right? We got to take
Yeah.
care of it. But
Well,
for
yeah,
the
because you did say that in that first meet in our first discussion. Just by doing that, you're going to show up differently, right?
yeah,
So get that part of it figured out. But then within the context of that, go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah. The next piece, like really, the next piece would be, so it's a twofold. One is part of polyvagal theory is co-regulation. And what that means is our nervous systems can help regulate another nervous system. As humans, like we're tribalistic, we are meant to be in groups, and that's why like this lockdown pandemic has been so detrimental to mental health and depression, all that stuff's on the rise because we
Mm,
were isolated. And so that co-regulation piece is to have a non-biased person in your life that you can connect to, and
mm,
whether that's through therapy or like a group therapy or finding, and I have to kind of differentiate this because I don't really believe in talk therapy. I know it has its place, but finding a therapist that does something with like parts work, just called
mm.
internal family systems, or um,
That's good.
completion
That's
process.
good
And
verbiage to look for, and we'll make sure to make some notes on that because I would
yeah,
agree with that. Yeah.
so it's finding someone that you can feel safe with and connect with. And that's really for like that body dysmorphia piece where I mean, I couldn't have done it alone. And so me
Hmm.
having a therapist and like, I mean, everything I do is about removing the stigma against mental health and therapy, right? So often people think, oh, I can only go to therapy if I'm broken, but everyone should have a therapist. So it's that piece. If you're really in that dark hole and like really stuck with body dysmorphia, I would highly recommend finding a therapist that you can connect with. Um,
Now, when you say the first thing that came to mind when you said find someone that you can, I was just thinking partner, spouse, but you're saying when you say unbiased, you're saying someone that's removed from your personal life to some degree, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
And
and
then
then go ahead.
so that would be at one degree. And then also
Mhm.
like finding a community like your SHT community or CrossFit or whatever you find that makes you happy, like a
Mhm.
hiking group or someone that you can knit with, whatever your hobby is, but like having that connection, because then it pulls you out of the story you keep telling yourself,
Mhm.
where you have connection with others and you kind of can bounce these ideas off and have authentic connection, which, especially after lockdown and also with social media, so often are we now virtual instead of face to face. And so that
Yeah,
does matter. And finding that to cultivate that into your life would be, the next step, I would say, or
I love
another
that.
important piece.
I love that. Finding something and saying yes, because I feel like I just noticed just with a lot of my clients and the people that I interact with, like you said, people have gotten so used to during lockdowns being by themselves and isolated that it's almost uncomfortable sometimes to say yes to events and to say yes to go places and do things. But just understanding the importance of this social connection and what we're talking about, moving you into better states and maybe a relatively more permanent better state. It's just very, very important. So yeah, finding the community, good solid connections, and saying yes to things that you might otherwise say no to because you'd rather sit at home and work on your freaking to-do list or clean your house or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think too, like the next, and I love positive affirmations and positivity, but if
Hmm.
you're not healing at the root cause, sometimes you're not able to absorb that, right?
Yeah.
So when my body dysmorphia was at the worst, I would look in the mirror and I could be like, oh, I'm beautiful, I love myself, and I could say these affirmations, but it was like there's that part of me internally that was like, this is bullshit, like this is a
Hmm.
stupid game, like shut up. You know, so it
Yeah.
was like they have their place. And so having that awareness with it, like I have an app, it's called Think Up, where you can record yourself, where you record your positive affirmations and you can listen to them. And so
Hmm.
sometimes I would listen to them before bed, or I would listen to them even at the gym with like a hard beat behind it. But it's like almost this kind of brainwashing with your positive affirmations. That does have its place, but understanding that if I didn't do the therapy, or if I didn't have the awareness that was the root cause of my body dysmorphia, those could almost feel like just trying to put band-aids over it, you know, and
Yeah.
not being able to like really receive that shift.
Yeah,
Um,
just acknowledging where that comes from. I mean, I just love so many points you're bringing up here because for a while, when I taught meditation and mindfulness, I kind of was anti thinking about the past, only moving forward, only thinking positive. And but you're right. Sometimes there's this background, almost like disbelief, or like you said, like no, that's not actually true. But if you can figure out or find out like what is it that triggered me, or why do I have this background little discomfort or unease or something, just that in and of itself releases it, and then the affirmations and positive statements work a little bit better because you've acknowledged what that is that kind of what you're saying?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And there's different
Cool.
tools out there. So like I was saying in the beginning, I'm a Psych K facilitator.
Hmm.
And that's where we help people rewire beliefs in minutes. And so I used to have this belief of like, oh, if this was something I believe for many years, it's going to take many years to unpack and heal and unwind. And it's like, that's just not true. Like you can change that in minutes. So using the right tools, like the right type of therapy, or using Psych K, or just finding what resonates with you, because there's tons of modalities out there
Hmm.
and some will work for you and some won't. So you do have
Yeah,
to do that kind of experimentation and see what works. Um,
I love it.
yeah. And then
Cool.
of course that nervous system piece I would have to throw in there and start kind of
Well,
diving into that.
yeah, I was going to say if there because it sounds like there's a lot that you could learn there, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe you'd like to come, maybe we could just, if you'd like to do a class and maybe not on that, but something that you feel very comfortable with for our people, that'd be awesome. But,
Yeah.
definitely give us some ideas where we can learn more about that. But what are some people listening, watching, never been exposed to it, but this sounds super interesting. Do you have any pro tips from Mikala though, that you can give for polyvagal, this theory of the different states and transitioning yourself into better states?
Yeah. Yeah, so Deb Dana actually, so she's the one that took this theory and put it into practice to like
Hmm.
layman terms so we can kind of start understanding it. So her website is phenomenal. She has a beginner's guide, a PDF you can download for free. And then
Oh,
she has
nice.
meditations and different tools on her website for free. So that's a really great place to start. And
Okay.
that really helps, like if you're just getting your toe wet, to do like the beginner's guide and just kind of start understanding, because we all have a nervous system. It's something that connects all humans. And so it's beautiful when we start understanding how it's working, so then we can change the way we're showing up and interacting with one another.
Yeah.
And so she also has a book called Befriending Your Nervous System. So again, it's by Deb Dana. And that has some beautiful exercises to implement that help you bring that awareness. So there's an exercise in there where you actually map your nervous system. You put the dorsal, sympathetic, and ventral vagal, so the red, yellow, green, and then you
Hmm.
actually map like what it feels like to be in each of those. And she has like the prompts for it, and then you kind of map like your triggers and glimmers, like what triggers you to be in those states, and
Mm,
then your glimmers, like what pulls you out of those states. And
mm,
having that understanding of like, okay, if I'm in sympathetic, I'm super stressed, like what's a glimmer that's going to help me feel just a little bit better and get out of there.
nice.
And so
So
then
it's
you
like
can
you have
start.
this little list of tools that you can be like, if you had to, you could just bust out literally and be like, oh yeah, this is something that I can do right now, or experience or something like that, and I know that it's going to shift me out of this state.
Yeah, yeah,
I love it.
absolutely.
That's so great, so great. But maybe in general, you're saying find a way, which will provide those resources you just mentioned that are free. Find a way to acknowledge these different states that you could potentially be in, and learn how to notice when you're in these states,
Yeah,
so that then you have the chance to respond versus react and move
yeah,
yourself into a different state if you want to.
exactly.
I love it. So great, so great. I've learned a lot.
Okay.
Can you tell me a little bit about your retreat coming up? Because that's isn't that around the corner? Like what?
Yes, it's I think 19 days away. We
Okay.
only have two spots left, so
No
potentially just,
guys though.
yeah, it's just for women. We potentially only have one spot left because I have a meeting
Isn't
with
that
someone tomorrow.
discrimination?
Right. I'm sorry,
wasn't there this big fight for?
yeah.
I'm just
Something, it's a
joking.
different energy. It's a different feminine energy. All the staff members are females as well. And so we'll be
I'm
doing so
I'm just jealous. That's why I
yeah,
said that. So go ahead.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe next time we'll incorporate some males. No, but it's gonna be we'll have a it's in a mansion in Palm Springs. We'll have a chef catering all the meals. We'll be doing like a breath workshop the first night. Then we'll be doing something really powerful called a water breath ceremony, which is individual and that helps emotional release and really powerful kind of stuff. Moves a lot of energy. I'll be doing workshops on the nervous system, and we'll be mapping
Hmm.
your nervous system and going through all of that. So that would be what my workshops are. We'll have a life coach there and a Reiki practitioner. Um, and we'll be doing like individual sessions with that. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be doing a static dance with the silent disco headphones. So just an opportunity to get goofy and primal and play. And then, and also a goddess cacao ceremony. So we'll be drinking some cacao and doing some heart opening stuff. So really excited.
Sounds awesome. So
Yeah.
it's like you said, it was 4 days.
Yeah. So it's
Like
September 22nd to the 25th. We have like 2 spots left, like I said, Palm Springs. So
so 4 day full immersion. You come in, you're locked in, but it's all good stuff. And when you come out, like it's guaranteed going to be just this amazing experience. Sounds like.
yeah, just
Yeah, that's
authentic
great.
connection and a lot of fun.
Cool. Now, can you give if for our members, on the DL, like is there any kind of discount code or something like that? You can give us
Yeah.
behind the scenes or something.
Yeah.
Cool.
Just put
All right. Awesome. Yeah.
SHT in the application and we'll be able to take 200 off.
Nice. All right. Hey, that was awesome. Like it was so good chatting with you.
Yeah.
And
That was a lot better.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, people don't know that we had a previous conversation and
Yeah.
just there's a lot of things that just didn't work out. Like just environment and technical difficulties and all kinds of stuff. But hey,
Yeah.
I've always known you were great. I mean, since the first time that I met you and your husband, and we did that little bit of work together, and I've just been really thankful to have you a part of a community because you're an active member there. You're super supportive, and I'm excited that we could have this conversation so that our members can see like how powerful you are and how much you have to offer. Hopefully some people will reach out to you, and I feel like we got a lot of good wisdom, a lot of good tips
Yeah.
here to live a better life. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm glad we were able
Yeah,
to connect today.
and good luck on the retreat. I know it's going to be amazing.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm super excited.
All right, tell Dante I said hi.
I will.
Okay, bye.
Bye.